I'm still breathing, falling in love every evening.
God bless me, even though I'm through sneezing. Tonight we take it more.
Yo, what's good, everybody? It's Hero here, and back with another video for you guys. So today I'm gonna be telling you guys about another dream that I had that was super fucking crazy, and yeah, I was a fucking superhero and shit. But yeah, I'll get into it. So basically, in this dream, a good friend of mine, let's call him Nick, and his two brothers were spending the night at my grandfather's house in Jersey. Now, my grandfather used to own this house in Jersey. It was an old Victorian style house, 3 fucking stories. It was huge and beautiful, but because it was old school and like really fucking big and shit, it was kind of creepy a lot of the time, and at nighttime it was just fucking super creepy. But yeah, so I don't know why the fuck we were there, because at this point when I'm having the dream, my grandfather had already sold that house a long time ago, but I guess I do have a lot of fond memories there, and I do have like a lot of strong emotional ties because I did grow up there. Not grow up, but like I used to visit there all the time when I was little and whatnot. So yeah, there's a lot of emotional attachment to that place. But yeah, so me and Nick and his 2 little brothers were spending the night at my grandfather's house, and basically we were sleeping in the 2 guest rooms. Me and Nick were sleeping in one guest room that had 2 beds, and then the other guest room had 2 more beds where his little brothers were sleeping. And we kept hearing sounds in the middle of the night, and I just didn't think much of it because, like I said, the house was old and shit, and you would usually hear a lot of fucking like creaking, and my grandparents also had like a bunch of grandfather clocks and other types of fucking loud, annoying antique shit that would just gong at every fucking hour of the night. So yeah, like hearing noises there would not be strange, you know, like even to the point where you'd hear like branches or some shit scratching against the side of the house or the windows. So yeah, so we keep hearing fucking noises, and after a while it gets to the point where it's getting really fucking loud, to the point where the floor is shaking, and we're like, Jesus Christ. So then my friend Nick, one of his little brothers comes over to us, and yeah, one of his little brothers comes over to us and into our room, and he's like, hey, such and such is gone. He's talking about the other little brother, and we're like, wait, what? He's gone? Well, he must have went downstairs to get like a drink of water or something, yada, yada, yada. So we're like, okay, fine, we'll just go downstairs and look for him. And then we fucking go downstairs, right? And we don't see him. So then we're like, okay, where the fuck is he? So we look through the whole house, and he's not anywhere in the house. I mean, granted, we didn't actually check the attic, but yeah, so we checked the whole house. So we're like, there's nowhere else he could be besides the basement, if he's even down there. And if he is down there, what the fuck is he doing there? And if he's not down there, that means he fucking left out, which would be really like fucking stupid and really bad, because over where he lived, over where my grandparents lived in Jersey, it was just like at nighttime it would get just super pitch black. Like there's no fucking streetlights or anything. So yeah, you can't see your own hand in front of your fucking face. So yeah, so we made the dumb decision of like going downstairs and checking the basement. So we go down into the basement and we can't find him, but something unusual is there. Now, there was never a fucking manhole in my grandfather's basement, but there and that dream, like there was a fucking manhole. So basically, we go down the fucking manhole. I don't know why, and we're like in some type of underground sewer thing, right? So we walk through the tunnels of this sewer place, and it's weird because at the time in this dream, I was not feeling like any of this was strange. I'm like, well, I mean, this is whatever. So we get to like the end, right, of this tunnel, and it's just like a square, like perfectly square room. And at the end of the tunnel, we see Nick's little brother, and we see a girl. Like, well, we can't really see her from that far or whatever, but we see a girl just like laying down on the floor. And then like there's these fucking like holes in the side of the wall on each side, kind of small though. And these fucking little nasty little gremlin fuckers start coming out of the holes. And I'm just, me and Nick and his other little brother are just freaking out. And they just jump on fucking Nick's little brother that was next to the girl and just start like fucking attacking him. And for some reason they're not attacking the girl. And I'm like, okay, that's weird. But they just start attacking him, and then they just start charging after us and trying to attack us. So we're freaking out. We're trying to fight off a bunch of little gremlins and shit. And they literally start killing Nick and his two brothers. And I'm like totally freaked out. So I run over to the girl to try and get her so I can just run out of there. Like we can just run out of there. And she's unconscious. So I'm like, fuck, like, what do I do? And then out of nowhere, this is where the dream is going to get even weirder. I mean, it's already weird. But a fucking brown capsule, like a pill, right? But like big, like some Dr. Mario ass shit, fucking pops up in front of my face. And I'm just like, what the fuck is this? And I reach out and I grab that shit. And then after I grab it, I just feel super fucking strong, like out of nowhere. And then like some gremlins come to run after me to hit me, and I fucking punch one of them like into the wall and like dent the fucking wall in. Like, so somehow I grabbed the capsule and it gave me super strength. So now I have fucking super strength. I'm trying to protect this girl from a bunch of little gremlins, and I'm just beating the shit out of like demonic little fucking gremlins in a fucking sewer underneath my grandfather's house in Jersey. So I'm beating the shit out of these gremlins and shit. And I finally finished like beating them all, and they're just dead. And then she starts to like barely wake up, and she's like, "I knew you'd come for me." I'm like, "Wait, what?" And it looks like a girl that that's familiar to me. Like, I honestly couldn't say who she was. Like, it's not somebody I knew in my real life, but in the dream, it felt like I knew her. Like, I had knew her, and I had strong emotional feelings for her. Like, she was like somebody I loved or whatever. But anyway, I pick her up, and I'm carrying her, and fucking, we're walking out of the area, the square shaped room, going back towards the sewers, and the sewers aren't there anymore. It's just two fucking doors, like double doors. And I open the double doors, and it's a whole nother area. Like fucking, it's a huge, like the ceiling is like fucking, I don't know, like 30 feet high or some shit. It's a huge ass, like just all completely white factory. It's a factory, and there's like fucking lifts, like moving things from side to side and placing things down, and robotic things moving things around. And there's all sorts of balance beams and shit stocked up, and just all these people, like weird scientist people with like hazmat suits that are all white, and just everything is all white. And I'm like, what the fuck is going on? But then right before like all these like scientist dudes like realize that I'm there, and they're like turning towards me, a fucking white capsule appears. And I'm like, okay, so I'm gonna grab this because obviously it's gonna give me some kind of power or something, right? Fucking, I grab the white capsule, and then I swear, like, my dream kind of switches to a third person view, and I can see myself, and I just see like a white cape just boom, just appear behind me, and I have a white cape, and I'm like, okay. So I'm like, what does this give me? And I jump, and I can jump super fucking high, right? And then I fucking start jumping on the top of like the factory area, like the balance beams, and I'm jumping, running away from these like weird factory hazmat dudes, and they're shooting these like weird tranquilizer darts that I know that, like, I don't know how I knew it was tranquilizer darts. I mean, I kind of know later on in the dream, but basically, like, I know that if one of them hits me, I'm gonna be like weakened, or I might actually pass out or some shit. So I'm just dipping through this fucking factory, and finally I get to like near the end, and I just see a bunch of those hazmat dudes and some like really important looking dude in a suit standing in the middle of them. And yeah, so they all open fire on me, and I basically get shot up with a bunch of the tranquilizer darts, and I start to like, my vision starts to get blurry, and I fall to my knees, and I'm holding the girl, and thankfully I'm looking at her, and thankfully she didn't get shot, but I just had all these tranquilizer darts in me, and I'm just like getting blurry visioned. And then the guy, the important looking dude, just looks at me with like a fucking evil smirk, and he's like basically just looking at me like, yeah, you can't win, like, you know, you're not gonna get out of here. And this is the part where things changed, like, for me personally, because at the time in my life when this dream happened, anytime I had a dream, I would always lose, you know? Like, there will be times when you have a dream where there's a possibility of you losing or like dying or winning or living, you know? Good there's a possibility of something bad happening or something good happening, and for some reason in my dreams something bad would always happen, and I would always lose or I would die or something fucked up would just happen to me, right? But this was like a turning point for me. Like in this dream, right there at that moment when I was like getting all blurry vision and shit, I'm like, no, like I literally said it in my head. I'm like, I don't want to lose. And then you just see like fucking an explosion. Like it switches back to third person, and I can see myself and just like an explosion, but not like fire. It's just like wind, and then just all the fucking tranq darts come out of me, and I just fucking burst everybody out of the way. Like everybody's out of the way, and then it's another long white hallway that leads to double doors. So I'm like, shit, we gotta get out of here. So I just fucking run down that shit super fucking fast, and boom, burst through the doors. And when I come out of the doors, I realize that we're on some like Rikers Island type shit. Like it's literally just an island that's kind of like a prison / factory in the middle of like the water or whatever. And I can see from where I'm at, I can see the Statue of Liberty and I can see the city. So I know I'm like close to New York or whatever. And yeah, there's dudes everywhere, but this time now they're not wearing white. The ones that are on the outside, they look like guards, and they're wearing black suits, and they have like heavy guns and shit. And they're all about to shoot at me, right? And I'm jumping. Like, I don't know if you've ever seen the movie Hancock, where like at the end he's like trying to jump away to like basically save himself and the blonde chick because they can't be close to each other, and he keeps jumping more and more, and then he fucking flies. That's basically what I do. So I'm like jumping, I'm like, come on, I know I can fly. And then finally I just boom, rocket off, and I fucking fly like super far away. And basically as I'm flying away, and I have the girl with me or whatever still, I turn around and I see the important guy. He runs to the door and he's like, I know you'll be back, right? And this is probably like, this is where you guys are probably like, well, what the fuck? Like, why the hell did you name the video Rubber Duck? This is why. So he's like, I know you'll be back. And I'm like, what? And I turn around and I look, and the dude has a rubber duck in his hand, and he squeaks it, and like it goes squeak, like it does the rubber duck squeak. And I'm like, shit. Like for some reason that pissed me off in a dream. That's some reason that was like a very important item to me, which meant that I actually would have to be back. So fucking after that, the dream literally fucking time skips, right? And apparently it's like a couple years later, and I have like a superhero outfit and everything. Apparently I didn't lose the powers or whatever, and I have like an all black superhero outfit with like some type of design on my shirt, and it's basically like t-shirt and jeans, and I have some type of design on my shirt, and I have black shades, like some fucking Matrix type shit. And yeah, I'm fucking like flying towards that place, that island. And then like they see me coming in, right? So they start opening fire on me and just bouncing off me. And then I just fucking land like Superman style, like boom, and fucking all these dudes go flying. And as I'm flying by, I can see like on the wall there's a poster with my face on it and shit. And it has like some type of like peace and hope fucking type of promotion poster. And it has me like as some type of superhero. And I was like, that's pretty fucking dope. But yeah, I land, and I'm like obviously coming back for the fucking for the rubber ducky or whatever. So I burst through the fucking doors, and there's just a bunch of those white tranq dudes, and those security guard dudes, and like everybody's shooting at me. And at this point I'm just like smacking everything away. Like I guess I got better control of my powers. I'm just fucking OP. So I'm smacking everything the fuck away, and I'm just bursting down the hallways, like making turns left and right, just at Mach speed, just flying down the hallways. And then I finally get to a tight ass little corridor where I know like this is where his office is. I know this is where his office is. So I fucking break down the corridor. I fucking burst down the corridor, knocking out all these dudes and shit. And then I at the end of the corridor, there's a fucking door, and I open that shit up, and it's his office. So I see a desk right there, and I go on the desk, and I open the drawer, and there's a rubber ducky there. And I grab it, and I squeak it to make sure it's my rubber ducky, because like something told me that I had to squeak it to make sure, and it made the squeak sound. I'm like, okay, that's my rubber ducky. So I fucking take that shit. I fucking burst right back down the hallway, and I fucking burst out the door and fly away. And I can just hear it, like as I'm flying away, I can hear the fucking main like important dude just like fucking pissed off and throwing a hissy fit behind me. But yeah, that's pretty much the end of the dream. Right after that, I woke up. But yeah, yeah, as you can see, I'm fucking crazy, and I have dreams about being a superhero and fighting gremlins and rescuing rubber duckies apparently, and females. But yeah, I hope you guys like this dream story video thing. If you did, make sure to leave a like. Maybe share the video, and check out the Facebook page and whatnot. And yeah, stick around.
Sleeping through the day, wake up with champagne. Roll me an A. I told my mother I would quit. What can I say? I'm still breathing, falling in love every evening. So we just gonna stay. Teenage dreamers, born this way. I told my mother I grow up. What can I say? I'm still breathing.